Hey guys, I have some exciting news for you. It is officially mid-November, which means we are well into pumpkin season if you didn't know. And if you don't know a lot about me, here's something I will tell you. I love this time of year so much. And one of the reasons I love it is because all of the delicious fall things that I get to cook in the kitchen. So, keeping with that theme, one of the things I'm making today is a pumpkin and leek soup. So in my imperfect produce box over the last couple weeks, I got a couple sugar pie pumpkins, and I saved those and roasted them last night and made a bunch of awesome pumpkin puree with it. Beautiful. And so I'm going to use that and some of the leeks and other vegetables that I got from my imperfect produce box and make a delicious fall soup. So in keeping with the theme, if you guys haven't gathered this about me already, I don't really like to use measurements when I cook. I like to keep it as simple as possible, and just kind of eyeball things and take the intimidation out of cooking. So I want the same for you. I want you to get really comfortable with, having different foods on hand and being able to throw them together in a delicious soup or saute or something like that. So today is pumpkin soup. I chopped up a bunch of veggies already. I chopped up some leeks, green onions, celery, white onions, and carrots. So you can see right here all those delicious veggies. So you can do a pretty rough chop with all of those veggies, because we're actually going to be pureeing this soup, so it doesn't really matter if they're big pieces, small pieces, whatever. At the end, we're going to use, I'm going to use a Vitamix. You can use any other high-speed blender or food processor to puree it all up. So really simple. I'm just going to take my big soup pot. You can use a larger one. You can double this recipe if you have a big family or if you're entertaining. This will just make a few servings for me to keep in my fridge throughout the week. So for the base, I'm going to use chicken stock, chicken bone broth actually. You can use vegetable stock, you can use beef bone broth, whatever you like. But for this particular soup, I want to do a chicken bone broth. So I'm going to pour that in. It's about 4 cups. I would probably do a couple extra cups of bone broth or vegetable broth, but I don't have it on hand, so I'm going to add a couple cups of water to this as well. Then I'm going to throw in all my veggies right in the pot. And then all of my pumpkin puree, which you can use canned organic pumpkin puree if you want, but I will do a tutorial on how to roast pumpkin so you can get fresh puree, because that is so delicious. So I'm going to throw that right in there. And that is the pumpkin from about 3 small, very small sugar pumpkins. And I'm also going to add a little bit of Himalayan sea salt and black pepper and some organic garlic powder. Normally I would have sauteed some garlic with this as well, but again, I didn't have any on hand, and I always try to keep garlic powder on hand for those times when I don't have fresh garlic. So I'm just going to kind of do it to taste. Again, eyeball it. It'll probably be about a teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of pepper, and half teaspoon of garlic powder. And then once again, just stir that all up. And I'm going to get this on the stove and bring it to a boil. Once it's boiling, I will simmer it for probably about 30 to 40 minutes or so, maybe a little longer. Just kind of eyeball it, see how it's smelling. Soups, you can always tell when they're ready by how they smell. Alright, so I ended up leaving the soup on the stove for about an hour, and now I'm going to blend it in batches in my Vitamix. So when you're blending this, don't fill your blender up all the way. You want to only fill it about 3/4 of the way, and really keep an eye on the lid, because a lot of steam will start to come out, and you don't want the lid to fly off and soup to fly everywhere. And there you have it. a blender full of delicious pumpkin leek soup. It smells so good. I can't even tell you guys how excited I am to eat this. So top it however you want. You know, you can throw some veggies in there. You can even, if you want like more of texture to your soup, you can chop up some roasted pumpkin or butternut squash, or again, your favorite vegetables, throw those in there and enjoy. Oh my god, that's really hot, but it's really, really good. It's just like all my favorite fall flavors in one soup. So nourishing, so comforting. And what's cool about this, you guys, is I've literally never made this exact soup before. I was just kind of throwing ingredients together, guesstimating, going based off what smells good, what seemed right to me, and it turned out to be a delicious soup that I can save for lunches and dinner throughout the rest of this week. So I encourage you guys to do the same. Get creative in the kitchen.